What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. Today we're going to do a little bit of a flashback. Some of y'all might recognize this guy and some of y'all might not. His name is Thomas Engelman. He did time in, I believe, if I remember correctly, Mississippi. He was a part of a white supremacist organization, and he came home starting, I believe, a non-profit organization called Erasing Hate. And he got all of his tattoos that showed symbolisms of hate removed or covered up. And not to mention, upon leaving this organization, he was shot in the head while driving, and he lost sight in his eye. That's why you're going to see him with the eye patch today. But the reason why I'm showing this clip today, a little flashback, is to pay my respects. Someone left a comment in the comments section a few months back saying that this man lost his life. But I couldn't find anything to back up what this guy was saying until a few months later, where his wife finally messaged me. You know, this man survived a very dangerous prison system, Mississippi. And even though this guy's doing all this positive stuff with a smile on his face, it looks like he's enjoying life to the fullest, finally. But you never truly know what's going on in a person's mind. He sadly decided to take his own life, and it makes me feel kind of bad, man, because, you know, I've interviewed over 100 people on this channel, you know, and someone messaged me the other day. He said, friendship is like watering an apple tree, Death. If you don't water the apple tree, then the apple tree won't grow. And I know he was joking because, you know, a lot of people message me that I've interviewed in the past, and sometimes I don't get to them for a month later. But I replied to him wittingly, bro, the problem is I have too many apple trees. And that's the truth. You know, there's a lot of good people that I've interviewed and I wish I could keep track of, but damn, man, I can't do it. It's impossible. Some people get mad, some people don't mind, they truly understand. And then there's some people that I wish I just could have talked to more. In particular, the individual you're going to be watching today. But this guy never reached out to me and tried explaining any of the pain that he's going through, you know. But still, just makes me feel like there's something else I could have done. And I know there's going to be people out there who say, man, you can't have done nothing, it ain't your fault, Death. And I know that, you know, I know that. But it's just like, if only I knew, damn, I probably could have stopped it. Anybody out there that's going through some stuff right now, even if you ain't been on this channel at all or you're just now tuning in. You know, there's a saying when people are going through a bunch of negative stuff in their life, when it rains, it pours. And it seems like that's always the case. But ladies and gentlemen, listen up. The sun always comes back up. And you ain't even began to see the brightest days yet. Keep y'all's head up and realize this is the one life we have. We're here to love and help people, man, the best that we possibly can. But anyways, let's get into the video. And my condolences to his family. And rest in peace, old Thomas Engelman. All right, buddy, so what's your name and where you from?
Hey, man, so I'm Thomas Engelman. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I did about 8 years in this Mississippi penitentiary, followed by about 5 years probation.
In Mississippi?
In Mississippi, yes.
Okay.
For armed robbery.
For armed robbery. How long did you say you did? You kind of went in and out right there.
I did 8 mandatory.
8 mandatory.
Yeah.
You came to me on Instagram, and you shot me a link to a YouTube video. Tell me about who was that did that? Was it ABC News or something like that?
That was the New York Post.
New York Post. They made a video with you, and it was a pretty crazy piece, man. It all started in... Go ahead. I'm just going to let you go ahead and tell the story. I just had a person on not too long ago from Mississippi, but this is a different viewpoint. Just tell me your story, man.
All right, so basically, at the age of 19, man, I committed armed robbery and I went to prison, man. They tried to hit me with a life sentence at first. So when they came to me with that first plea, you know what I'm saying, right after that, yeah, I took it, man. I didn't know any better. I had a public defender that basically taught me into taking the plea by saying it's not mandatory. You'll be able to get good time. You'll be able to get like 3 years down and it's over with. Well, I fell for it, man, because I didn't know any better. And so I took the deal. When I got processed into receiving, that's when I found out that it's going to be mandatory sentence.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, man, they did the okie doke on me. I fell for it. But the guy that did it to me is known for it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get. That's what you get for not having a paid lawyer.
Yeah. And so how was it, man? You ended up getting up in there and meeting some people, huh?
So after a couple years, man, went by. I looked at basically looked at it, man, like I wasn't getting out. 19-year-old, everybody dying in my family and everything. So like everything was looking pretty grim in my outlook. So I basically, looked for community, and the group that I chose was one of the most violent in the, in there, and that was Brotherhood in Mississippi.
Okay. And what prison was this in?
The one I joined in was in Parchman.
Parchman. Okay.
That was the one that Lieutenant Mann was talking about in the last video.
Yeah.
That's the main state penitentiary. It's got about 9,500 acres. It's a working prison farm.
Okay.
I was locked down in Unit 32 that he talked about. That was maximum security. I later then became maintenance at that unit, and also became maintenance to where I had to run the farm before I got locked down for contraband, cell phones, shit like that, and then I got out.
Yeah. And this prison is where you became part of the Brotherhood.
It started in Greene County, which is in South Mississippi Correctional Institution. So that's Greene County. I started my prospect shit and stuff in there, and then it transferred to Meridian, which is East Mississippi Correctional Facility. So I've hit all the state facilities there are in Mississippi. Because that's the only ones that they put, like, all the violent crimes and all the sex crimes and shit like that get put into the state facilities.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to go to like the regionals or anything that was nice and cushy. Nothing like that. They made it a point to put me in all the worst places they could, man. I really wasn't a troublemaker except for after the robbery, so I don't know like what caused that, but yeah, that caused me to basically adapt with my environment, and yeah, it was pretty grim. They were banging pretty hard back then.
Yeah.
So
well, I understand, man. It is what it is. People join certain things during prison. Your story turns out to be a success story, though.
Yeah, you want family, you want connection, man. You don't want to be in there alone, bro. When your family starts dying, that shit sucks, man. It's hard to take on. So, like, when you got somebody that offers brotherhood, no matter how dysfunctional that shit is, man, it kind of looks appealing, bro.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
Yeah, so that was my appeal, man. And I joined, and I went through the ranks pretty quick. You either gain through the ranks either for being really smart or really savage, bro. And I'm not one to be savage. I'm not that kind of guy. So I was always figuring out a way to talk around things, to make everybody money, to save everything, things like that. So that was when I was over compounds, when I did things like that. That's what I did. Trying to avoid war. Did it happen still? Yeah, it happens, man, because people jump out, people get stupid, especially early in the morning after breakfast, man. People don't want to be up, people don't want to be awake. Shit kicks off.
Yeah.
But aside from those incidences, where like maybe 10, 15 people get into it, like a lot of shit was avoided. So that was nice. But yeah, after I got out, man, I kind of tried to just fade away, and I did for a little while.
Before we get into after the penitentiary, because this is going to be a crazy ride once we leave after.
All kinds of questions. I was a tattoo artist, so I got a lot of my ink in there. Yeah, I mean, I did that. I ran a pour box, did all kinds of shit. So yeah, you can ask me about it.
Well, let me ask you this. That Lieutenant Maine guy said that he was getting tatted up by AB.
Yep.
Is that typically how it went with y'all? Didn't matter who y'all tatted, y'all just made the money?
Yeah. No, most of the tattoo guys in there were ABs. That's just it wasn't by pre-design. That's just how the shit happened. And then you had some cemetery rules and stuff that would tattoo and stuff like that. But mainly the ABs were the ones that tattooed. And no, it was all about business, bro. The racial shit, it's tacked on there to really piss people off if they want to take it that way. But really, man, like, if you've been housed around them, a lot of the time, man, it's all about business first. It's about the enterprise, man. It's about the money. And yeah, so yeah, that's basically the way it goes, man. So
yeah. All right, now one more question before we leave the penitentiary, man. What was your scariest moment in prison?
Honestly?
Yeah.
The morning of going home.
Really?
Terrifying. I've been in bangings, bro. I've been shot through crosses and put into some stuff, man, that was deeper than I've ever thought possible, man. Like tight webs. But no, scary was not knowing, like, sitting in that holding cell thinking, oh, they're gonna come up with some more charges, they're gonna do this. I had just got caught with a cell phone, and all kinds of shit, all kinds of contraband. So I didn't know if they're gonna try to come up with some new charges. And then when they finally did say, okay, your ride's here and let me out, just the whole thing was scary as shit. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. No, so now I have dedicated my whole life to leaving a better legacy, something for after me, because what I was going to leave before was something that was just destruction and toxic and drug riddled and everything else. So now I'm fully disabled, but I volunteer with a group called Life After Hate. They're out of Chicago, and I help to de-radicalize people out of hate groups and other groups like that, whether it be political or anything like that. Try to help fight against them and let them know that there's a way out. You know what I'm saying? Well, against the groups, not the people, but to try to help them through compassion, man. Because a lot of times, people like us that get in groups, no matter what the group is, no matter like the actual ideology behind it, whether it's Islamist or whether it's white supremacist or whether it's gang life, like once we get in that, man, it's really hard for society to accept us after that. And there's a lot of programs out there for gang life, but nothing for white supremacists and things like that. And I know like people don't want to give those groups any compassion, and while they're active, I get that. But for the people that want to come out and that want to disengage and that want to get the, even that want to get out of that life, and that's what we try to do. We try to give them that space and give them that way out, and try to get, do that.
Have you helped quite a bit of people?
Yes.